understand was a good friend before Ethan even came out. But that's all I really want to talk about right now because I actually have class here.
Does anyone know where they were during that timeline? Like, there's still this big chunk where...
As of right now, we've told Moscow PD, Idaho State Police, and the FBI all we know. We're kind of leaving it up to them to piece it together. Obviously, we don't have the utilities or resources to do it on our own, so we're just putting full faith in the officers on hand and the detectives doing it. But that's all I really know right now.
Are there any cameras around?
Not on the phone.
Time frame between 9 p.m. the night before the murders on November 12th and 1:45 a.m. when Ethan and Xana were believed to be at the Sigma Chi house.
Keep pursuing my dreams, but it's definitely a lot harder for people to come back, especially after that.
Yeah. Do you think it's brought the community, this university, closer together, or has it fractured the campus?
I mean, I would definitely say it fractured it, as not a lot of people are here.
Yeah.
But in a way, it's brought us together, especially just the Moscow community and Idaho in general. Pretty a lot hard for people to come back, especially after that.
Yeah.
Campus, I came across a young man who's good friends with Ethan Chapin, and he told me what it's been like to face this tragic loss. Watch.
I knew Ethan and Xana.
What do you remember about them?
They were really good people. I always loved seeing them whenever they were around campus. Ethan was a good friend of mine, so it's pretty sad. But I came back because I still want to keep pursuing my dreams, but it's definitely a lot harder for people to come back, especially after that.
Yeah. Do you think it's brought...
I wonder. Welcome back to my Mental Health and Crime channel. This is all my thoughts, my speculations. Nick Scott is Nick Green, is Scott Green, a son. He's the president of Alpha Kappa Lambda, the boys who are Banfield. He says he's friends with Ethan and Xana. I wonder how the frat system works. When Sigma Chi fraternity had the party, would the other frats be invited? Why is he smiling in this interview? 4 students, 2 of them are his friends, Ethan and Xana, were unalived. Is he just nervous because he's doing an interview? Where was Nick Green that night? Because he's the president of Alpha Kappa Lambda, and the Banfield boys come from his frat. So does Saeed. Is he trying to cover up for them allegedly? CAYDEN Young, may he rest in peace, was unalived of an OD, fentanyl OD, that he got from Emma Bailey and Demetrius. They weren't charged for it. The case was dismissed. They said it was an accident OD. But what I find interesting is he was the president of the journalist news agents or newspaper crew in his university. Did he find something out about Emma Bailey and Demetrius maybe dealing drugs in this house? Did they silence him? He was not only the former journalist, president, or actually not former, he was the president when he was unalived, of the journalism team. He used to fight for human rights. And I believe he found something out. Alpha Kappa Lambda, his fraternity, where he was the former president, and Nick Green, Scott Green's son, became the new president. Kind of strange. What did he find out? Did they kick him out from his position to be the former Did they make him the former president because he knew too much? He was getting too close to what actually happened and who was involved in the Idaho 4. The reason I say that is CAYDEN Young was unalived on the 10th of March. The quadruples happened on the 13th of November. He was a bright young man, and I think they just silenced him, in my opinion. I find all these cases to be kind of related, even Hudson Lindo. There's been hazing, bullying, and many other illegal things going on, even drugs. This is a college town. But the question is, what did CAYDEN Young get himself caught up in? And what did Ethan get himself caught up in? Ethan was friends with Nick Green, so that means he was friends with the AKA, Alpha Kappa Lambda. And I showed you pictures of Zana at the AKA, chilling. So was it the Alpha Kappa Lambda boys that unalived Ethan, allegedly Zana, and CAYDEN Young? Just my speculations. They were arrested on the 23rd of March with drugs, weapons, etc. They were arrested for the OD, the fentanyl OD of CAYDEN Young, and they got away with the case. Emma Bailey lives right behind 1122 King Road. Ashlyn Kutchin is a friend of Demetrius and Emma. She was defending them. Could it be possible that CAYDEN Young found out that Emma and Demetrius were involved? And they silenced him. They took him to Washington, Seattle, and silenced him there. In my opinion, it is possible there are too many coincidences, too many deaths in this university, allegedly. This is what Ashlyn Kirch had to say, the sixth roommate. She speaks to Demetrius 3 times a day. She speaks to Emma once a day. She said they're good people, but yet again they're selling fentanyl. That's a deadly, lethal rug. Make this make sense. I really believe there was a rug element going on in this house. If Ashlyn Kirch is so comfortable saying that she's good friends with Emma, Bailey, and Demetrius, that doesn't look good for her. Where was Emma Bailey that night, I wonder? She wasn't at the grub truck. There is another girl who looks a bit like her, but Emma looks totally different. Where was Emma? Where was Demetrius? Did CAYDEN Young mention their name? Was he talking or asking questions? Did they silence him? Allegedly. She was 1122 King Road, his neighbor. I wonder when Nick Green became the president of Alpha Kappa Lambda, the Banfield Boys. Was he given the position because he's Scott Green's son? Or did he earn the position, I wonder? The Sigma Chi Boys had the honor of having President Scott Green at their dinner, the scholarship dinner, in 2022. So this picture was taken on the 8th of November 2022, 5 days before the quadruples took place. Right behind Scott Green, we have Ethan Chapin. And on the same day, we have Scott Green in another fraternity. In early 2023, Sigma Chi fraternity made Maisie Chapin the Sigma Chi sweetheart. I wonder why. I believe David Lodge and David Baraccio were already graduated, or they did not attend for this picture. You have Hunter there, Hunter Chapin, and you have some of Ethan's friends. Delta Gamma made this young woman their sweetheart. This picture gets to me. This was on November 3rd, 2022. This is all Sigma Chi fraternity boys ready to celebrate a Friday night. And look who we have there. Hunter Johnson, celebrating with them. Hunter Johnson was from Phi Beta Theta, was it? Theta? But he was always hanging around with the Sigma Chi fraternity boys. I wonder why. Was he really Ethan's friend? Was he Hunter Chapin's friend? And we have Scott Green, the president there once again. We have Hunter Chapin, I believe, with the hoodie on. Pete Rock. I don't see Ethan unless he's standing right behind. Scott Green seems to be very friendly with his fraternity boys. And he went to Greek life himself. This was in 2021 when Ethan and Hunter Chapin joined him. This is Zana. You have Ethan. You have Ethan and Zana's friend who's in between them, who's standing behind Zana. I think this was a Vandals night in 2021. I think the one on the left is not Lodge. I think the one on the left is Pete Rock. Or it could be David Lodge. But the one on the right is David Lodge. The 4chan said it was David Lodge allegedly and David Baraccio who did it. But the 4chan was just anonymous. And here we have David Baraccio. He's coming on the Amazon Prime interviews. Can't wait to hear what he has to say. This was in 2021. You see Ethan standing behind near the door. They were just kids. David Baraccio is supposed to be a very smart student, and he was Ethan's tutor. He wasn't doing well at that. This was in 2021. He was actually given a lot of scholarships and all. He was really good in science, biology, chemistry, physics, and such things. So this is how Linda Lane looks like. All this was happening while the unalivings were going on. Saeed and Jovita have a lot of evidence on their phones and the people at the grub truck. I wonder why they were never investigated. You can see so many different people with masks. You can see Kaylee sitting on the bed in the sitting position like her mother and father said. Why were the Banfield boys never checked? And the Sigma Chi fraternity boys? But now that we know Ethan was chilling at home, it changes a lot for me. Please like, share, and subscribe. May the victims rest in peace. Have a lovely week.